So for this particular watch, what we want to do on this 5524, the first thing we want to do is we want to actually zero out the watch. That may be a term that you have not heard, but it's one that we actually used for many, many years in the watch industry. When I first learned how to actually set watches, that was one of the terms that I learned first when it came to GMTs, because it's easy to get confused as to where the watch is now and how to get it to tell the proper time with the least amount of steps as possible. Zeroing it out is exactly that. We're going to be putting the time directly to zero. Zero on your watch is going to be midnight. So remember, there are going to be an AM and PM indicator. The lighter color, or white, is going to represent the daylight hours. The blue or darker color is actually going to resemble the night. So when you're looking at those two, if you see that it is in the PM, because that has the darker indicator, just know exactly where you are. So we want to move everything by first using the crown itself. And when we use the crown, we're actually going to pull it all the way out. And as you can see, the hands themselves are going to start to turn. Now, when we're looking at doing this, we want to make sure that the home time as well as our current time are all aligned at the zero, which is going to be 12 for midnight. The reason we want to do that is when we get ready to set our local time, the local time itself will then align the rest of the hands because it's going to move all at once. So when we actually pull this one out, as we can see, the GMT hand at this point is hidden. The reason being is the GMT hand only goes around once per day. And actually on this particular model, it gives you that day-night indicator so that you can see it go around twice per day. Now for this one, you can see the hand is hidden right now, but let's just go ahead and set it for a time. Let's say that currently the time is going to be 5 a.m. So we'll go ahead and set it for 5 a.m. We'll then push our crown back in as well, because remember, we're not using it anymore. For this particular watch, there's not a screw down crown on this one. So the first stage, or being pushed all the way in, means that it is your winding position, okay? And we'll go back to winding shortly after this. Now, what we want to do for the GMT hand itself, if we want to move those things, we're actually going to move our current time. We're leaving the home time alone at this point. So when we use our pushers, you'll notice that one of the hands, or the white hand, which I like to call the ghost hand, just because simply the color and the way that it is designed, and it is skeletonized, it gives me the opportunity to actually know and differentiate between the two instantly. So as I push the actual pusher, you'll notice that it's not doing anything. That means it's locked. Simply turn it to unlock it. And what that does is it gives me the opportunity to go backwards for my hour hand. Now, if I would like to progress forward, I'm simply going to use the bottom pusher, and that's going to allow me instantly to go forward as well. That's a huge deal if I'm traveling, because again, I don't get interrupted in the second hand, and it allows me to continue to go from meeting to meeting, from time zone to time zone, and keep the most accuracy in the watch. That is why we always zero it out first. Make sure that all the hands are aligned, because when they are aligned together, guess what it means? We have more accuracy, and it's easier to change time zones as we begin to travel. Now, before you do anything, and we're doing this as the last step, because I simply do not want you to forget this. When you receive your watch from SwissWatchExpo, always make sure to wind the watch properly first. So what we want to do is give it a good 60 rotations, and we're going to do that clockwise. That means that we're doing it away from you. There are some watches that do require for you to go forward and backwards. However, this is not one of those watches, and most modern watches do not require you to do that. But by giving it a good 60 turns, what we're doing is we're filling up the power reserve. So yes, it is an automatic watch, and yes, it will continue to wind itself as you make big movements, but first, this watch needs you. So when we say first it needs you, remember that you winding the watch, you're storing the energy from your hand into the watch itself, and that is what is allowing it to stay powered. Now, for this particular watch, you're going to get about 35 to 45 hours. So don't be surprised if you're not always getting the same consistency. That is expected from this watch, and one of the things that Patek has said in general when it comes to the watch overall, because it's more about while it's running being the most accurate. You'll also see for a lot of manuals that they tell you 20 turns should actually get everything going. However, the human hand cannot make a full turn or revolution. So we do want to split that in half or double it. So you'll get the 40 to 60 turns, which is always going to give you the best when you're looking at the accuracy of the timepiece that you're looking to enjoy for the rest of your life and pass down to your generations. If you have any questions, please contact us here at Swiss Watch Expo.